Alright guys, here we have TinyStats. This has been the project I've been working on with Heinrich. It is come a long way for sure. First things first, you can see that we have a register and a login. When you register, you can register with a simple name or email and password, and you can create that account. I'm going to sign in as an admin. Once you are signed in, the admin has the ability to assign you a role based on that coach, parent, or player role. So let's say I logged in and I registered with someone named player.player. I can go put in their information and then I can pick the account, the email that they signed up with. And that's basically where the assignment takes place. If they have a parent, you can also assign their parent, which takes the parent ID and associates it with that. And then the team ID as well gets associated that way. So you can see that this is pretty fleshed out. We have coaches, parents, and players. And then we also have a couple teams. For the sake of demo purposes, I've kind of fleshed out Supersonics and Happy Hippos. This is the admin section. It gives you a basic overview of how many teams, coaches, parents, and players there are total. And then this pulls the top fives. Normally whatever's been put in last will show up, or whatever's been put in first. It's not sorted in any way. We have a home page. This is what the normal public users will see. So if I log out, you can see that you have like an intro to TinyStats, what it is, who it's for, and how it works. And then this one was added after the fact, after I submitted the project. So what you have will be different if you go and look at the graded submission. If you go to the live section, ideally I wanted TinyStats to be something where people who are in the stands of small youth organization games can simply open up their phone and see scores for the games that are going on live in front of them. Normally you don't have scoreboards or big organized funding to really show and give stats for those smaller teams. So I'm going to look up the Supersonics, and I'm not going to type the whole thing. I'm just going to put sup and search. Anything with sup will pop up, and since there's only one, we have Supersonics. This takes you to a team details page where you can see the schedule, and since these games are all scheduled, you can see that it has that tag here. If they were games that have already existed and the scores were input, you would see that in order. So that's that for that. I'm going to go back to the login page, and now I'm going to log in as a coach. You have a different dashboard for the coach. You have a player management section, which allows you to see your roster. You have a parent section, and you have a schedule section. If you look closely, the managed parents and managed players are not editable by the coach because these are their own profiles. So I don't want the coach to be able to tweak any of those specific informations. But the schedule, the coach should be able to add to or edit the scores. So you can put scores in here, let's say 17 to 21. And now that's there. The coach can also send messages to whoever is attached to his team. I already have messages sent, so whenever I log into the student or the player section, I'm going to log in as Grayson. And you can see, once again, we have a different dash for the players. So here it shows in order, 16, 23, then 30. You have the schedule. This one has a score now, and you can also see the messages, as well as a team roster. I would like to add position and jersey numbers to the model for the players so that we can get that to show as well. But this is basically it for TinyStats as a whole. It's very simple. It did take a bit of work. I didn't show this. We do have an about page and a privacy page. Privacy page is more simplistic. It just says, hey, we don't really do anything with your data for you because it's a demo. And then the about page, simple as well. But I think it looks really good. It's definitely a project I will continue working on. And now we can get into the code a little bit. We have our traditional CSS here. Images, we have a couple different ones. App data, this is put in just so we can use the MDF locally on the project instead of going to our SQL server. Areas, you have identity. This is built in with Microsoft's identity package. And the only thing we really tweaked here was the login and register pages. Get into the controllers, you have a variety. So you have an admin, coach, basic controllers, and then you have whatever the role is, you have management controllers. And that just dives deeper into what we can actually see for CRUD operations as opposed to just a generalized index for the most part. Data, we don't really use migrations too much here. We can definitely run and update, but that's not necessary right now. And then models, this is really, really basic, I guess. It's just the overview of each class model. And then this is where it really gets hectic. You have views for every single section, and similarly you have the player management. You have those management sections as well as just regular home and admin sections. Those are the biggest differences in terms of what you're seeing. So the admin is just the index versus a coach management is all of the CRUD operations for that. Shared layouts, we changed the layout, but we also added this dashboard tabs, and that's how you get the difference in roles. So when you see if they're in the admin, you see the admin dashboard instead. And then if they're in a coach, you see coach dashboard instead. I think that generally is everything for this project that is really relevant. But like I said, this is definitely something I want to work on a whole lot more.